Okay, if we were to take the approach that we've talked about, this is what it would look like, essentially. You'd have the top bar. It still has enough space to reach over and to touch and to hold the frame up, but it doesn't really need to because the bottom is actually has feet on it now, right? Then you'd have a bar, and that bar can be narrower than the one I've got in there. But it would, anyway, it would be a spacer that would fill that so that the bees would be less likely to want to do something with that space. And also it gives us something to screw the top bar into, level. And then the frames would act as frames. They would still provide the same structure on the sides and on the bottom that they normally do. And we do that. One would be, say, brood, and the other would say be honey. So you'd only have two frames that you did this to, because you'd use two for each. And they'd already be full. So the only thing they would try to do is something goofy in the middle there. Do you fill that space? Do you put comb in there? We have strips of comb. Do you put comb in there? Or do you put a piece of wood in there so that they don't want to build across it? Or do you just let them build across it if they want? Are they likely to get out of sorts? I don't think so. If we give them just normally a top bar to build all the way down from, why would we say that, that little gap, they would necessarily run amok? This, I think, is probably the best answer. It uses the 4 frames and only 2 frames. We can build the structure around it that doesn't even have to be screwed in. It can just be sitting on there because the top is going to be sitting on top of it. The plywood that would stick below the 2x4 that would sit here, right? It would be the plywood, it would come up to here. Then it would be attached to the 2x4 that would rise up. And then this would stop it from sliding this way or from this way because it would hit on the end down there. So that, you could just place it in there. You wouldn't even have to screw it in. Okay, so I think we're onto something. It's only a matter of this piece. Do we leave? Okay, I think I explained this yesterday, but just to make sure. So the only thing I did was put a 2x4 structure up on its long end, right? And then I put a piece of plywood to match this so that it had the same drop to marry up with the frames. And I'll show you that, but what I want to show you is this, okay? So this is the original, where the Layens design, right? End walls are higher than the side walls because the side walls, that's where the frame slips down into. So we needed to replicate that. But we want something that is very easily convertible. So this, because this is all attached together, all you do is just basically lift it up, set it on here, like so. We'll take the two of the Langstroth frames, set them like that. We have this. This is the top bar, original top bar from a Layens frame, and then we just made a little bit of a filler to cover this space because the Langstroth frames have this little tab on them, so this just covers that space. It's a little tight, so I'll have to just make sure I loosen that up a little bit, that frame up a little bit, so this fits in there real nice, just like that. Then I've already got the screw piloted, so I'm just going to take it like that and then zip, and those will be attached to this frame, right? Okay, guys, Here are my prepared frames that I'm going to use in the Layens hive when I transfer the bees from the Langstroth to the Layens. I've got this comb, why not give it to them and see if that doesn't help improve their chances of building, you know, their hive size, right? Their population. So that's the, you know, analysis and theory that goes in behind why I'm using a full sheet here. Okay, guys. So now is the time we're going to attempt to transfer this colony of Italian honeybees from their Langstroth hive to the Layens hive that they're sitting on right now. For those of you who know me, this will shock you. I actually have a cheat sheet. Not that it's not unheard of. If I had a very important operational meeting or so one that's very complex, I might take some notes so that I efficiently go through what I needed to go through. So taking from that, I do in fact have a step-by-step process here, which basically I'll just give you, I'm going to break it down into parts. First phase is going to be me simply prepping this area, which is the entrances and taking the straps off and removing the sugar water from inside of the box. Okay, here we go. I'm going from least to most disruptive. And I think when I hammer when those nail gun goes off right underneath their hive, that's probably going to be a little bit more concerning to them, just the vibration and the noise. So I'm going to take the straps off before I do that. Of the Layens. They have a little bit of sugar water left. You can see them. I think I'll actually set this in here since they're ultimately going to be in here. Might as well get all the bees where they should be. Now, we'll hope for the best here. Like I said, this is potentially the most upsetting. Okay guys, I'm sorry that my back is to you and that you were so close you probably can only see a chunk of me. But I think the key to this is you seeing this, not me. So for this segment, I think what we'll do is we will just go with it, all right? So the bees actually have settled down just in the time that it took for me to go get the smoker and get it going. One of the things about these smokers is, you know, you really want to give them time to actually get a burn going. I know for me, it was kind of like, I'll just race through it. But I find that if I just give it, you know, a little bit of time, it just holds a better smoke. Yeah. So we'll take this back off again and see how agitated the bees are. Oh, they don't seem to be agitated at all. No bees on the top of the lid or the underside of the lid. We had already broken this free from the propolis, so it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, we'll just set this down. I have half a mind to set it in the box if I can. No, it won't fit. Okay, we'll just set it down with all the others up here. They'll find their way. This isn't... Okay, and then we'll just give these guys a little smoke. Okay. Now, let's find efficiency here. Smooth is fast, right? This is brood. With quite a bit of capped honey. Nice. They didn't have that capped honey last time. And then brood with wet honey here. So that's a beautiful frame. That's a beautiful frame. Now, unfortunately, we've got 2 wood and 2 other frames. I'm hoping that they will marry together. This is almost empty. I've got a little bit of brood going on here. And this side, pretty much empty. See if we can't move them off of each other. We have to be very careful here because one of these could easily be the frame with the queen on it, right? Yeah, the last thing we want to do is to create a problem with the queen. Right? Yeah. Okay guys, please move off of there. If I don't want to squish any bees. Yes. Okay. They don't like that. Okay. They are in fact working on a 5th frame, which I told you was a possibility, and that would be not good, but I don't know to what degree they're actually working on it yet. Okay, so this one is brood, no honey on it. And this side is got open honey on there. Okay, so that's good. So let's see. I'm going to put the open honey guys, I'm sorry, you've got to move off of the, I cannot afford to have one of you be the queen and be in the way. That would be most no good. Okay, so now actually we have two wooden frames that are being worked on here. Oh dear. Okay. Now this one is, oh, all honey. They've been working that, oh my heavens, both sides, all honey. They've been working that sugar water. Okay guys, move it, move it, move it, move it, move it, move it. Come on, show some love here. Show some love. Newbie in town. Newbie. Be a partner here. Come on. We talked about the symbiotic relationship already together. We just need to not forget our roles. Okay? I'm sorry you can't see me screwing this in, but I think you guys can appreciate the situation in which I find myself trying to take care of my little family here. Thus far, I have killed one bee. That's it. And I don't even know that I killed that bee. So they're just building comb on here. All right, so they haven't done anything with this. So I'm just going to take these little rascals and I'm going to sweep them into the box. That's what I understand you can do. Okay, now this one, same thing. This one is even more active, but it's only comb. Look at this. They haven't done anything yet. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, now I think I've been told once that you can bang these like on the ground and they'll fall off. And then we can just leave them here. Okay guys, the curse of the creator hit me, and the Tennessee heat shut off my phone for a temperature warning, and so you guys dropped off there for a bit, and you missed a spot. So I'm just going to show you, this is what it looks like when it's completed. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 frames. That is so that we can cover up or include that second entrance, the middle entrance, so that they have more space in and out. Yeah, this one, I think the reason is a little bit cattywampus. It is one of the two that has the frames below, and I think that frame is probably tilted a little bit, and I think that's why that one's a little bit off. I think it looks pretty good, don't you? So the bees have had overnight to acclimate themselves to their new abode, and we're seeing a lot of great activity this morning. They're coming in and out. I've seen bees come in with full pollen sacs. So I don't want to open up the hive and mess with them. I want to give them a couple days just to really get established and start building the comb and in taking care of business. But I did want to just wrap this up to show you that it does look like the transfer from the Langstroth to the Layens hives was successful, and that there seem to be, you know, prospering thus far in their new spot. So there we go. Thanks again for, you know, commenting. Really appreciate that, and liking the video, and then you know, subscribing if you like this content over time and distance. Thanks, guys.